Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to show you two different XM4 class setups, one with 8 attachments if you're choosing to use the gunfighter wildcard, or if you're choosing to use some other wildcard. I have one with 5. I am using the one with 8 attachments. So 8 attachments, micro flex LED or mill stop. You've got the muzzle brake 5.56 on the other, or infantry compensator. Both are good. I use the muzzle brake just so it's not super slow. Reinforced heavy, damage range, velocity, hip fire. I mean, I don't really care that much. Field agent grip helps a lot with recoil. This thing is a beam. Jungle style mag. I don't really need extra rounds. I don't want to be slower than I kind of already am, so I wanted to reload a little bit faster. The SARS jungle grip, aim down sight speed, flinch resistance, and then the buffer tube. Sprint to fire, yeah, hip fire's down, but it's about even with this laser, and you're not going to really be hip firing with an assault rifle. Now, the other class, microflex, again, really use your optic of choice. Infantry compensator, the reinforced heavy barrel, again, the field agent grip, and the speed tape. It's a little bit faster, but still able to control the recoil within 5 attachments. You could use any other perks, wildcards that you want. Obviously, you have to use the gunfighter if you are using the 8 attachments, but let's get right into the gameplay. So for the gameplay, I'm going to be talking over the gameplay like this. Obviously, I've already given you guys the classes. If you want more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. It means a lot, as I'll be bringing more classes. Now, I cut a lot of the first part of this gameplay because it wasn't really much action, and it was me just not really doing much and being able to fully showcase what the XM4 can do. Here you can see it is decent in close range, and obviously you guys can change up the attachments to better suit your game. Let's say you want, 40 rounds instead of the 30 round speed mag that I have on. You can make those changes. It's not going to hurt you. But what the XM4 is like, this is the first weapon I've got in max, so I'll be cranking out, creative class videos once I get some more guns leveled up. Hopefully there's a double XP weekend for Thanksgiving, and I'll be streaming then, so make sure to follow my Twitch, StepKey0. But the XM4 is pretty good in long range to medium range. I know the bar chart, if you look into your combat record, it gives you a bar chart of like where your weapons are successful, and that can be used for either weapon, and it also tells you the long shot range, so you could kind of gauge, oh, I'm not getting enough long shots. For me, about 20 or so percent of my data or something like that is within that long shot distance. So you just go to your combat record and then select the weapon that you want to look at. It's really a histogram, but that's not the point. I'm not teaching you math. So from the stats that I get, medium to long range is where it is, and it even gives you an ideal range. I don't know if that's suited based on the weapon or suited off the user, but medium to long range, the XM4 is really good. It's not going to beat sniper rifles in long range. Why? Because sniper rifles don't have flinch. That's really it. Up close, I wouldn't say it's the best AR in the game, but it's a solid AR. It's not a showstopper. It's not what the FFR was pre-patch, which I have no clue what I'm going to do for that class setup video because that thing got nerfed. Ooh, little two-piece, we got a 7 spree, Stepkey frying. Not the point. But, I definitely think there's better assault rifle options, but this is still a good class. I've been frying with this class. I've been having fun, and I don't think it's like OP. I mean, it's just a solid weapon, It's not like it's overpowered. I still lose gunfights to other weapons like the Krig, the AK-47, stuff like that, the FAR. But it still is able to win some of those gunfights as well. So I think the XM4 is, that just decent, solid one. I mean, I wouldn't compare it to the... Oh my god. Oh my god. You can't stop shooting. That is an example of what not to do. What not to do is just to stop shooting. But, again, really good close range, long range. Now, in terms of competitive, is the XM4 going to be in it? Unless it receives a bust, I don't think so, because I think the AK, the Krig, the FAR was better than it, but right now it really is... every assault rifle kind of has their ups and downsides. The XM4 really isn't the greatest up close. you know, it's decent mid to long range, where the FFR, which just got nerfed recoil-wise, that thing's still gonna shred up close. And so it could be a kind of more Maddox-type weapon. Sorry for getting a little off topic by talking about the FAR, but, you know, the XM4 isn't a showstopper. It isn't, you know, the best weapon. I'm not going to call it the most OP weapon, but it is a good class to run around. I'm using the 8 attachments, not the 5. And I used the 5, of course, before I got Gunfighter. And I still think you could use the 5 if you want to use something like Perk Greed, or if you want to use an SMG to close up the gaps of the short, you know, the problem with the range up close, or, you know, don't use a shotgun. Shotguns have kind of been annoying because there's, especially in hardcore, oh my god, shotguns have like a limited range. There's some range where it's like, really, I'm getting one shot by a shotgun by then? But, you know, the XM4, again, I wouldn't say it's the best weapon. I wouldn't say, you know, it's a must-use. And I started off this game slow, 8 and 9, you know, I was kind of mediocre, and then I turned up, I just started beaming. And so the reason I chose this gameplay is it really does show the minimal recoil. This thing has no recoil. None of the weapons really have recoil except for one that just got absolutely nerfed into the ground, the FFR. And so it is a pretty easy recoil control, even with something like the muzzle brake, where it doesn't control completely every single recoil stat. You know, the infantry compensator does a better job of covering the vertical recoil. I just don't think there's enough recoil really on this gun to be worried about it. Of course, you still want to help yourself by limiting the recoil, but it isn't necessary to use the ones that have some downsides with the less recoil that you'll have. Again, these weapons, you could switch out a couple of the attachments and it's not going to change anything. And you could see, I think this is the perfect map to really show off what the distance and damage and what it can do in long range. You know, it could absolutely fry people. And again, also one attachment I want to mention, the reflex sight, that is all like personal preference. I used to like the millstop, and then I started using the microflex because a lot of players in the competitive community, mainly pro players, were saying they liked it. So I gave it a try, and I've actually really liked the microflex now that I've gotten to use it. I mean, I like the millstop. I like the quick dot LED from the alpha. From the current and, you know, newer stuff, it's not as good. So again, the attachments you could interchange if you don't like something, like if you feel you're too slow. But for me, I'm a kind of slower, more methodical AR player post up, you know. I was expecting somebody to show up, but this isn't a assault rifle class that you're going to be able to run and gun. And I don't think there's going to be many classes that you can run and gun with in the assault rifle category, just because SMGs do that just so much better. This is one where you could kind of take people off at distance, but also if you've got, you know, you get into pickle up close, you could still do damage, you could still defend yourself, and you could still be a legend, you know. And so I will be making a map video. I don't know if I want to make the map video ranking all the maps, if I want to do it on the post-launch content, or if I want to include the December kind of update or whatnot, because the Season 1 update. I don't know if I want to rank the like launch content plus the Season 1 maps or whatnot. And I'll be trying to get as much creative class systems as long as I could level up weapons. But hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Shimmy, love the music. See you guys.